What's going on, guys? Brother Russia here, back with another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. And today we are going to be taking a look at the 55% LR TEQ UI Goku that is over here on the global side. So obviously the banner just dropped for this unit, kind of like a surprise banner, I should say. It's considering we're still in the anniversary, and this is essentially like a part 3 banner. Which we normally do not have, so it is a little bit of a surprise that they did do something like this. Obviously, we're going to be taking a look at this unit at 55%, no equips, no nothing, full link level 1. He does have a domain. He actually leads a very powerful category as well, with Universal Survival Saga, Realm of Gods, and Trusted Will, and then given the 30% to Repsu Universe 7, Accelerated Battle, and Powerful Comeback. So he's a triple leader with a triple 30%. So he actually is a very, very good leader for a lot of content. But let's go ahead and hop into a couple events. Let's give him a couple little test runs on some different teams and, you know, kind of see how he performs. All right, so we are here in our first event. So what I'm actually doing is I went into the Jiren Burst Mode actually, because I feel like this would actually be a pretty good stage to test this Goku out, especially because he's got an active skill domain, and this would be like one of the fights that can last like the longest. So I feel like this would be a great place to test this Goku out. So we did bring a friend Goku. It looks like he's already link level 10, but he is only 55%. So I did want to at least do that. It looks like he's got a couple little equips on him, but of course we want to just test out like mine for sure. So here's how he looks. So what are we sitting at? We're sitting at 298k defense right here. We got 5 out of 7 links active, which is pretty good. So we're going to put him here in slot 1. We'll actually get him linked up with Vegeta. Yeah, because Vegeta gives him the most links. So what this Goku does is on his 12 key super, he does stack. So his 12 key super, he does stack attack, and then he greatly raises defense for 1 turn, causes colossal damage to the enemy, and raises allies attack by 30% for 1 turn. So essentially he is like a slot 1 unit to kind of put him out there and let him get his super in, support the entire rotation. And then on his 18 key, which is what we currently have, he greatly stacks attack, raises defense for 1 turn, causes mega colossal damage to the enemy, and then raises allies defense by 30% for 1 turn. So essentially what you want to go with this guy is, realistically, you want to go dodge and you want to go additional, because you definitely want to get the supports off for him. You want to get his 18 key off, because then he gets it, he gives the rest of the rotation 30% defense. And then you want him to do an additional 12 key, so that way he gives a 30% attack buff to him as well. So that's what he does on his super attack effects. Now, if we go to his actual passive, he's got the entrance animation, which we already played. It gives him key plus 4, 77% attack and defense for 7 turns from his entry turn. Plus an additional 77% attack and defense for 4 turns from the character's entry turn when there's another Universal Survival Saga category ally on the team upon the character's entry. which most of the time you will have another Universal Survival Saga unit on the team. So as of right now, he's got his initial 77% attack and defense buff for 7 turns, and then he gets a second 77% attack and defense buff for 4 turns because we have that Universal Survival Saga category ally. Now, just straight up from his base, he gets 7 ki and 200% attack and defense, which is insane. He just gets that for free. He's got a great chance of performing a crit, so he doesn't need crit in his hidden potential system. He's got a great chance of evading enemies' attacks. He reduces damage received by 15%, plus an additional damage reduction of 35% within the same turn before the character receives an attack. So again, that's why you kind of want to put him as like a slot 1 unit, because he gets the extra 35% damage reduction before he receives that attack. Well, actually, you know what? Within the same turn before the character receives an attack. Okay, so after he gets hit, he loses the 35% extra damage reduction. So actually putting him in like slot 1 wouldn't be too bad. If there's like a super or something coming your way, I mean, you got basically 50% damage reduction for that super. He does guard all attacks within the same turn after he receives an attack. And then he launches an additional super within the same turn after dodging an attack, which also includes supers. Then he launches an additional attack that has a great chance to become a super as the second or third attacker in a turn. So it's kind of pretty much like prioritizing where you want to put him. So you can either get the guaranteed additional super if you put him in like slot 1 and there's attacks coming before he attacks, or he can launch the additional in slot 2 or 3, but it's not a guaranteed super. And then he does have a domain. It creates the Illuminated World of Void, which raises superclass allies ki by 4 for 3 turns. It can be activated starting from the 5th turn from the character's entry turn. So it's from his entry turn. So technically, you do really want to run like 2 of these UI Gokus together, because you essentially want to get them. You want to try to make sure that you have at least one of them on turn 1. Because if you get the unfortunate like slot 7 UI Goku, and that's the only one you're running, you're going to be waiting a very long time before you can get his domain active. So when he's got the domain up, also, let's just talk about this real quick before we actually hop in. With his domain active, he gives superclass enemies and allies 15% attack and defense, plus an additional 15% attack for characters who belong in the Realm of Gods category. And then superclass enemies and allies can nullify attacks that are guaranteed to hit, making it possible to evade these attacks. So basically, if a unit has like the guaranteed hit ability, where you can't dodge it, having this void up means that those characters can dodge those attacks, which we haven't got the fight for like Goku and Frieza yet, but they do have that mechanic where they guarantee hit you and you can't dodge them unless you have this void up. So let's take a, let's hop in here. Let's check out his attack stats and everything like that. So we are running him in slot 1, so he hopefully will evade this attack right off the get-go. But we will also give him a little bit of buff right here from Androids 17 and 18, because they are giving us, so they are basically supporting us because we are a tournament participant category ally. So we get 35% attack and defense plus 2 ki, and then they give an additional 1 ki and 17% attack and 18% defense with 7 or more ki spheres obtained. So we're going to get these 11 ki right here, and that's going to bump us up just a little bit more. All right, so can we get this dodge right here? Perfect. So now we're going to guarantee a second super. So 10 million first attack. yeah, this is actually a really good fight right here because we can kind of build up. We can build this UI Goku up. We can get his actual like domain up and everything like that. So this is actually like a great showcase. And the thing is so he's given us another additional 60%, or I'm sorry, an additional 30% attack buff right there because he double supered. So he gave us 30% defense, and then he just gave us basically 60% attack. Now, as I was saying, he does lead a very, very powerful category. In, Realm of Gods, Universal Survival Saga, which both of these units just got massive buffs during the anniversary. So, okay, so now we have my Goku here. So the only support that he's getting is from Master Roshi here, who's giving us a 40% attack and defense with 3 ki, because he is on Turtle School. So we got 5 out of 7 links active. We're sitting at 363k defense. So let's give us a little bit of orbs here. Give you that. And we'll give you this right here. Okay, so if we dodge this, which we did not. Okay, so we don't get a guaranteed additional super here, unfortunately. And we don't have, we don't really have additionals in our, or I should say we don't have additional at all in our hidden potential, because with him being a tech type unit, he gets crit, which he actually doesn't even need. And that's the only thing, is like, it's so dumb that they gave him crit in his, like they gave him crit in his passive, but then at the same time, they also made him a tech type, so he gets the automatic 5 crit. So like whenever we, rainbow this Goku out and actually use him, it will be with dodge and additional is how I'm going to be building him. So that'll be, I think that'll be pretty exciting, I should say. Because that's honestly like the best build for him, is dodging and getting the additionals in. Because he doesn't need crit, so. Alright, so right here, yeah, so he gets 6 out of 7 links with this UI Goku. Yeah, so we're at 277k defense. We have no support on this rotation at all. So support is all gone. This is just going to be just raw attack stats. There's no attacks or anything coming at us beforehand either. So 9.5. Now, this is also from the friend who does have level 10 links compared to mine that is only link level 1. But the nice thing is again, we are, with him doing the 18 key super, it does raise our defense by 30% for the whole rotation. Okay. So let's do this. Let's put him in slot 1. We got 2 attacks right here, which is, fine with us. So we need what? We need 7 orbs. We can't get 7 orbs. That's unfortunate. So we won't get the extra buff. Okay, so we get the dodge so we can get the guaranteed super, additional super. So yeah, we're sitting at about 8.2 million. Which, for 55% it's not bad at all. Here's our guaranteed additional. It's only 5 million, so the attack stat is a lot lower. Yeah, compared to like these guys, the attack stat is definitely lower, but once we get him transformed into his actual like UI Goku, he does get pretty crazy. Which, what we'll do is we'll do it with my UI instead of like doing it with the full link level 10 one. We'll just hop in here with mine. I think that'll be a better way to like showcase, how he is just link level 1 right off the get-go. But the nice thing is so once we actually get him transformed, his 12 key super just greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn. And then he disables enemy guard and causes colossal damage to the enemy. Yeah, we're at 344k defense with Roshi supporting us. So what we'll do again is kind of the same thing what we've been doing. Okay, so we did not get the dodge, but we did get hit there. So now we have guard up for like any additional hits. We would have guard up. Yeah, so there's the guard activated right there. So they did kind of do a pretty nice job with him, where it's either like you dodge and then you get the guaranteed additional, or if you get hit, then you get guard for the rest of the turn. But if they attack twice and you get hit once and then you dodge the second one, then you do get the additional guaranteed, and then you do get the guaranteed guard. So they designed this Goku very, very well. So it's very understandable why a lot of people were happy to get him, but at the same time were upset that he dropped so early because they wanted to summon for him later. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and pop this active skill. So let's go ahead and get this done. So I'm not gonna lie, the animations for it is a little weird. I feel like they just try to add in as much as they could, and it just ended up looking way wonkier than it probably should have, I guess. I don't know, it's really weird. Okay, so what do we want? Do we want Kamehameha, or do we want extra defense? Or no, prepare for battle. That only gives us 2 keys, so we don't need that. So we'll go like this. Okay, so now that we've got him transformed and we got him in his domain, we are giving the entire superclass enemies and allies 15% attack and defense, plus an additional 15% attack to all Realm of Gods category, to anybody that belongs in Realm of Gods. So these guys, they're getting an extra 15% attack here. Vegeta, he's getting an extra 15% attack, and obviously UI Goku is getting his own as well. So what he does now that he is transformed, we went over his 12 key. On his 18 key, he greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes mega colossal damage to the enemy, and raises allies attack and defense by 59% for 1 turn. So he gives a massive support buff to the entire rotation just by being in slot 1. Then on his passive, so this is where he gets a little crazy. He gets 300% attack and defense. He gets 7 key and 59% attack. He evades all attacks, including supers, and all allies' chance of evading enemies' attacks go up by 10% for 1 turn from the character's entry turn. He gets 3 key up to 12, and a chance of performing a crit, and chance of evading enemies' attacks, plus 20% up to 77% with each attack performed. So he's not going to do 4 attacks, and then he's built up. He does have a counter. So he counters with tremendous power after evading an attack. He reduces damage received by 20%, plus an additional damage reduction of 40% within the same turn before the character receives an attack. Guards all attacks in the same turn after he gets hit. And then he gets a additional 91% attack, and a chance of performing a crit, and a chance of evading enemies' attacks plus 20% when HP is 50% or less at the start of the turn. And then launches an additional super when Ki is 24. Now, when he actually does transform and come out here, he actually does dodge. I think he has guaranteed dodge on all of the attacks for the first turn. So we're sitting at what? We're sitting at 250k defense. So we're at 12 key now. We obviously have the guaranteed additional super. So let's see what kind of damage we're gonna do, and then on top of that, what kind of buff we're actually gonna give to the rotation. Because we are obviously given a 59% additional attack and defense buff. And now with his domain active, anybody that would have like a guaranteed hit, we now can dodge. So this is good against some of the newer fights. All right, so 10 million attack stat, which is not bad. Yeah, we get the additional guaranteed, so 7.5 mil. So of course, like damage wise, it is a lot lower than what most people would probably want to see out of him. But like, look at this. He gives these guys a 21 million attack stat because he just gave the entire rotation 59% attack and defense. Plus they're getting all of the buffs from the domain being up because they're on Realm of Gods. And we're super class allies. So we're getting the additional 15%. So when we actually use this UI Goku in like actual difficult events, you guys will see exactly how good he can be when he's actually buffing the entire rotation. So yeah, we got 7 links active there. You're at 289k defense, which, you know, like whatever. Let's give you this. We still get 7? We can't get 7. Did we just lose our ability to get 7? We do this. No. Yeah, we definitely lost the ability to get 7 right there. That's fine. Yeah, let's we'll get another attack stat in with them. Just to see, you know, we'll see what kind of damage he does. We did, you know, stack him up a little bit. It wasn't a whole lot, but I do want to get him his full like passive active, especially because he does get the extra he gets the extra key, plus he gets the 20% 20% chance to crit and dodge up to 77% with each attack performed. So we got 2 attacks in. We just want to get 2 more in. The only problem is I don't think we're going to be able to get under 50% HP to give him the additional 91% attack and to perform a crit with a chance to evade enemies' attacks plus 20% when our HP is 50% or less. But okay, so right here, again, we're just sitting at the same exact links and everything. We're 372k defense, and we have Roshi on the team, or on the rotation, so he has given us another 40% buff right here. So we're already sitting at 24 keys, so we're not worried about not getting the additional super off. Alright, so let's see what this is going to do. So we're dodging 2 million counters. Yeah, just literally every attack we dodge, he counters. So he doesn't even have to get hit. He just dodges. Dodges and counters, which is amazing. So about 10.1 million. So this is kind of like roughly about the attack stat that we're going to be seeing out of him at level, like link level 1. It's going to be right around 10 mil, right around 7.5 mil additionals. So yeah, like right here, you know, we got the full 12 key that we're getting. And then our crit hit chance is up to 77% now. And our dodge chance is 77% now. So yeah. Oh, and yeah, reading from his passive, when he comes out the first time, he evades all attacks guaranteed. So he does dodge all the attacks. So you just put him wherever all the allies or I'm sorry, where the enemy's attacks are coming in, and he'll just dodge every single one of them and counter. And the thing is if you can set him up correctly to where he can super first and then greatly raise his attack and defense, then he can even do more with his counters. Unfortunately, we just couldn't, not a whole lot of attacks popped up where we really wanted them to. And so here's the thing. So like, obviously, the domain is gone, but the UI Goku remains. So the only thing that we now lose out on is we lose out on his domain ability, which, as we know, is 15% attack and defense for superclass and enemies, and then the extra 15% attack to Realm of Gods. So usually by the time you get to this point, the fight will actually be over. Like, no lie, the fight will probably be over by the time his domain is ready to end. And if it's not, then you're doing something to run the fight very, very slow. But you know what? Let's go ahead and we'll just pop the we'll go ahead and pop the friend one as well. So this is actually really good. So like as I was saying beforehand, if we put him like right here in slot 2, so there's a lot of attacks right there. So instead of us getting, 3 or 2 million like counters, we'll actually get more from our counters because, Jesus, 24 million out of this guy. We'll actually get way better counters because we'll super first. And it's all depending on if this Goku actually finishes this fight or not. He might actually finish this fight and ruin what I was trying to do. Actually, you know what? If he doesn't, then TEQ UI Goku definitely will. Yeah. The 12.5 million. So that is with him getting an extra, what was that, 59%? Was it 59? Yeah. That's with him getting the extra 59% attack from his first entry turn. And yeah, as you can see, we do still have him out right here. Wow, he locks. That's so can't do anything about that, unfortunately. But you know what? We'll just put you guys up front. So unfortunately, we can't. Obviously, we're not going to be countering anything. But let's give it just a little bit of extra support buff here, and we'll be able to see, we'll be able to see like what kind of attack stat we can get out of these guys. I mean, the blue boys here are sitting at a solid almost 24 million attack stat. So the only thing is so Jiren himself is actually getting buffed as well because he is a super class enemy. So he actually would be getting an extra 15% attack and defense as well. So we actually are nerfing ourselves by buffing him too. So I didn't give him any kind of like attack raise or anything, so this isn't going to do anything to us. Yeah, I just gave him a bunch of HP and defense essentially. Yeah, so 9.8 mil, and it's kind of unfortunate because we can't dodge any of the attacks, so we can't counter anything. And there's our guaranteed additional from being a 24 key. So I mean, yeah, this UI Goku is pretty good at 55%. I think if you pulled for him and you got him to 55%, you'll probably have fun with him, especially like with his domain and everything like that. Especially with the newer fights that are going to be coming where they do cancel. Actually, Global just dropped a new fight against the Evolution Blue Vegeta, and he actually does cancel dodging. So this Goku will actually perform very, very well there. And of course, I have UI again in the very, very last slot. But what I'll do here is we'll make this our last turn right here. And we got all 7 links active. And we'll be able to get his attack in, and then we'll be able to get 2 counters in. So we can kind of see what the counter damage is going to be. So we were doing 2 million, basically like 2 million counter damage. Let's see what we're actually going to be at now that we're going to super first. So we are raising our attack and defense. And since we're at 24 key, we will actually raise our, we'll do a second super, and then that will also greatly raise our attack and defense for a turn. So we're basically getting ourselves a nice double buff here. Okay. So 12.6 million. Yeah, I'd say he's pretty good for 55%. And again, this is the friend, so he's at full link level 10. All right, let's see those. Let's see those counters. Okay. 5.3. 5.3 million counter. So that right there was actually a really good indicator for how hard his counter can hit. So I'll go ahead and finish this fight real quick, and then we can kind of talk about his team a little bit, because he actually has a really good team with a bunch of different units that we can run. So give me 1 second. All right. So now that we're out of the fight, we can kind of talk about his leader skill a little bit. So obviously, Universal Survival Saga, we already know how powerful this category is, especially with the buffs that we just recently got from the 9th anniversary. You know, we got the Easy Ace for LR, AGL, UI Goku, the Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta, the physical Kaioken Blue Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta. Plus the STR UI Goku, you know, he got his Easy A as well. I mean, we just got like a massive buff there. Plus, you know, we'll have Topo coming out, we'll have Jiren coming out, so it's just more buffs to Universal Survival Saga. Then we have Realm of Gods. So if we, you know, hop over to a Realm of Gods, we'll just take a look at the list, you know. We just hop over here to Realm of Gods. You know, we have obviously this guy who got his Easy A. You've got these guys, so you can get them out and get Vegito Blue out. Obviously, we have Goku on rotation. We can get his super attack in, buff them up. They can actually start doing really good damage as well. Vegito Blue, you know, it buffs him. The gods, they're going to be getting their Easy A soon, so this is just another buff here. Obviously, you know, Jiren is going to be getting buffed up from here. There's a lot of units on Realm of Gods that are getting a massive buff here. Blue, you know, Evolution Blue Vegeta. Hell, even like this UI Goku might not be terrible to use. Obviously they won't link up right away, but when you get this one transformed, he'll link up with the base form of the TEQ one, and then on top of that, he can also, once you get the other UI Goku out, then he'll obviously link up with him as well. Yeah, I mean, obviously we know we were talking about this Goku. This guy actually got a pretty massive buff now with this UI Goku around. Like, imagine dropping the Spirit Bomb with this guy. Gogeta Blue, obviously. And then we kind of scroll down here, and you know who else we got? This guy who just dropped during the 9th anniversary. So you have Goku, who, you know, is leading one of the more powerful categories. And on top of that, we've got Gogeta, who is one of the best anniversary units, is on his team. But you know what? That's not all. So now if we also check out his other team, which is Entrusted Will, So if we go, where is Entrusted Will? I think you're actually down here. Nope, maybe you might be higher. Oh, you were one of these categories. Okay. So, Entrusted Will. Ultimate Gohan. Kind of scroll down. Oh, look at that. TEQ Ultimate Gohan. We got the Super Easy A Gotenks on there. Trunks, who can, you know, stack up and get pretty good. This Gohan, he's definitely got an Easy A coming up pretty soon. And we haven't even made it out of TEQ yet. Now, we got Super Saiyan 4 Goku's getting buffed. We have the Gammas that you can run, who also give a 50% support buff to this Goku, because he is a superhero unit. And then if we just kind of scroll down just a little bit, you have Beast Gohan, who is also on UI Goku's team. So if you want to run a team that full of just like cracked out units, you run Goku as the leader, because all of these units just fit on his team. Now, I don't think he gives, because I don't think he's on, yeah, he's not on Powerful Comeback. He's not on Accelerated Battle, which is a little bit disappointing. And obviously he's not on Reps of Universe 7. So he only gets a 170% buff, but I mean, for Beast Gohan, 170% buff is 170% buff for him. Then obviously you scroll down a little bit, you got Sword of Hope Trunks you can run. If you really want to run Piccolo, you could do that too. But I mean, they run, this Goku leads some very powerful categories. Oh, and I almost forgot this guy, Future Gohan. So, and if you really want to get dangerous with it, you could run Piccolo Jr. too. I mean, it's just more units to run. So, yeah, I would say this UI Goku is definitely a great release. They did a very good job with his leader skill. They did a great job with his passive. He's a very fun unit. So let me know down in the comments below if you guys ended up pulling for him. If you did, how many copies you went for, or if you're just waiting for him to return and get him later. And if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you're new here, subscribe as well, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye guys.